Brandon. Split up all the family, then shipped across the Atlantic. So many died from the panic. Threw the dead bodies overboard, sharks ate them like salmon. I know you can't stand it. I spit the truth, goddammit. Big business got managed, dig it double back. Came to pick up all the blacks. Whips beat up our back, we never got to relax. Pretend to set us free, but dig it double back without a crack. The type of game that you play, hey, you keep it real, I ain't going for it. Beat a couple court cases, had a warrant for it. Told my mama if I ever did time, I'ma raise up the whole yard. And my lawyer like, oh lord, district attorney added more charges. No problem, ain't tripping. Coming through the scriptures. Muhammad said the Lord with your boy, that's a small issue. Bounce back out the rebound. UPK got the heat now. Ain't no let me out the leash now. Teaching in the streets now. A part of Lost Tribe South, but it started in the East now. Look, this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. Fuck the white man, 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 this for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. Fuck the white man, 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 fuck.
No, so bring it in, you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, take it back. Man.
Traitors. Them fucking traitors. Check it out. They say that they was down for the fam, but I disagree. Remember summertime in the van, it was misery. AC never worked, window cracked, I feel the breeze. Guess that ain't mean shit to you, fuck loyalty. They'd rather be up home with the mama while rolling weed. I'd rather put the love of my brothers over the greed. I'd rather be frontline when I battle my enemies than home on the internet pushing and punching keys. They say that they had love for the cat, but a nigga please. We don't need that kind of love, I'ma just keep it G. My heart done got cold on traders like Mr. Freeze. We just want to show you how I feel to get victory. I'm with UPK, so we ain't really seeing defeat. We battle on the corners, opponents we free to see. Who sides with your niggas, flipping to different teams. Bad mouth, one west, lucky we let you breathe. That's mercy from the general, told us to let you be. They say he had to go cause then he ain't getting green. But really he didn't hate us niggas like Paul and Dean. Now he broke, ain't smoking no nicotine. Copping down some partner, he's coming out another fiend. Since I've been with you, big A, like I'm living a dream. Pulling up in the 90s long as a limousine. Hopping out with shoulders, you thinking we the Marines. But we the ones with beers, me mugging on magazines. All my brothers kings never overthrow the regime. And we gon' ring forever, our level heavy supreme. Fucking traitor.
Yeah, why you left the truth, my nigga, you silly, yo. Just to get taught by a nigga who really go to ISUPK online videos. We should take them all down and see what they really know. Get your boots, lace them up, let's follow the generals. Always speaking truth, no speaking subliminal shit. Line upon line, even letters and syllables. Cause the ISUPK is the fucking original shit. All my niggas kings who used to be criminals in the land of the thieves, the home of the Seminoles. Don't cross a fucking line, cause it can get critical. Cause my hit is my nigga is down to get physical. Shit, I shouldn't have to say, but something you should know. Like the white man is the devil, prices I need, bro. And he died for the blacks, Hispanics, and Chief show. Something there one of your preachers will ever teach, yo. If you want to know the truth, you know where to come find it.
Okay, the instance, if you on the instance, you need to get that.
Diamonds on a bomb mission to free my people from bondage, yeah.
There's a new set of rules you shall all have to abide by. The non-lyrical shall be terminated.
No. All right, shalom, y'all. Bashim Yashabakata. Yahweh Shema thought by Shem Yahushai is Officer Abraham of the Israelite School of UPK. You understand? Holding it down, you know what I'm saying, until the general comes, you know. So of course we have a great privilege of having, you know, Jeremiah Hyman come in, you know what I'm saying. He was in Durham last night, you know what I'm saying. Now he's in Charlotte tonight, you know what I'm saying, Charlotte School. So we're definitely gonna hold it down until he gets here. If anyone has any questions, you know what I'm saying, you can ask it now. Salakia. If you don't have any questions, also too, if you have any questions online, we can go ahead and answer those. You know what I'm saying? We can go ahead and get those in. Like I said, until the general comes in, we're gonna hold it down. I'm Officer 5000 Abraham. You can type your questions into the chat. You know what I'm saying? If somebody, 1 second, let me get to it. All right. So if there's no one have any questions, you know what I'm saying, we can go ahead and get started on the topic. You understand? Go to Acts 4:21. Somebody give me Amos 3:1. Go ahead.
It's a question on Facebook, on YouTube, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Brother said, why is the book of Jasher not in the Bible if it has been referenced to and even mentioned twice in the Bible?
That is Salakia. Give me the scripture that says that, you know, there's to many books there's no end. To many books there's no end. You know what I'm saying? The book of Jasher and the book of Enoch, that's all garbage. If you read the book of Jasher, then you'll read right at the very front of the book. You know what I'm saying? It'll tell you that this is a book that if there was a book of Jasher, this is what it would say, or this is what we think it would say. You know what I'm saying? That book of Jasher and the book of Enoch, that's all books based on the so-called oppressor and what he thinks that if there was a book, that this what it would say. You understand? It's all bunch of it's all bunch of, you know, like hearsay, like it's almost like propaganda. You know what I'm saying? To say, well, if this was the book, if there was a book of Enoch, then this what it would say. You know what I'm saying? If you read the preface at the beginning of the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch, it'll tell you that this is not, you know, this is not a work that is backed up by any, you know, by any reputable source. You got it? Go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Go ahead.
Chapter 12.
Chapter 12.
Verse 12.
And verse 12. So hear this good, you know what I'm saying, for the brother that got the question. You know what I'm saying? Hear this real good, because this will put an end to all the propaganda that's going on that we need to read, we need to get from many sources and all this other things and you know, go into these other books other than the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and read that, brother.
And further,
Excellent.
Cool, I got down here. Let's get it on, all right?
Come on, sir. That was a question online, sir, about what? Could you read the question again?
Question is, why is the book of Jasher not in the Bible if it has been referenced to and even mentioned twice in the Bible?
Give me Isaiah 34:16, right? My spirit hath gathered them. There are a few other books like that mentioned in the rest of the Bible. The book of Jasher, the book of Enoch, to my memory, right, are two of them, right?
Come on.
The books that are not in the Bible, that in the King James version of the Bible, so you can understand, are books that the Most High did not want in there. The Bible is not the record of everything ever written about God in the past. The Bible is specific writings written by specific people that the Most High gathered together for us to have in the last days. Just like today, there were many writings. Hell, the New Testament is not even actual books. It's letters, correspondence. Imagine making a book of what this brother said, what you heard about this brother, and then just mail from this one brother. That's all. The New Testament is mail. It's not books. No one wrote those. Paul didn't write those letters down thinking, compile these in a book. Paul was writing a letter to Thessalonians, to the brothers down there, to Ephesus. But the brothers who received those letters got them. And when they received them, they thought they were very important. And so they kept them and held them. And the Most High, through time and generation and storms and wars, these letters prevailed. These letters were held in caves in Qumran, Russia. Where's the Qumran caves at? I forget. The Qumran caves, I think it's in Russia. You can look it up. These letters were in a clay pot for thousands of years. They just held these letters over time, and these are the ones we have, man. So now the book of Jasher at one time was a very important book to people, but the Most High didn't preserve it. Over time, it was lost. The Most High didn't give it the kind of protection that he gave the rest of the books in the Bible. And because of that, the book of Jasher is gone. The book of Enoch is gone. You can go to a store and buy a book called the Book of Enoch. It is not the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is gone. It is some devil who wrote a book and called it the Book of Enoch, and it says it on the inside cover. Okay, these books are gone to history. Why are they gone? Because the Most High didn't keep them. Give me the precept. My spirit hath gathered them. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. You know what I'm talking about?
Come on.
Read it nice and loud, all right?
This is the book of
We didn't
Isaiah.
have any refreshments down here. We'll be 95.
Come on. It's in the back, sir.
If you don't mind, I take one if it's okay, just to celebrate being down here. Get a Most High hand. We in North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll answer my questions. Everyone knows I have to get into my topic tonight. My topic tonight are specifically the people I'm going to kick out of the school. I came down here to find people to kick out of the UPK. Everyone knows that, right? That's why Commander General Yohana sent me down there. Captain N.W.O has a list. We'll go into the list later, and we'll go into the process that Commander General Yohana has ordered me to go through before I can, without mercy, kick people out of this school who should not be in this school in North Carolina. Commander General Yohana has been very displeased by some of the conduct of you brothers and sisters in North Carolina, not upholding the high standard of morality and dignity and honor that Commander General Yohana passed down to us. Commander General Yohana is not a stinking drunk. Everyone knows that, right?
Come on, sir.
Commander General Yohana doesn't lust over every woman that comes into the school. Everyone knows that, right?
Come on.
Commander General Yohana does not break the 1-year rule. Does everyone know that?
Come on, sir.
Not enough of you down here know it, so I'm down here to kick you out of the school and to cleanse this place of your stink. I've held my nose long enough, suffering your stink. And so now, Commander General Yohana has freed me to come to the different cities of North Carolina. First Durham, now Charlotte. I'll be in South Carolina tomorrow because your stink has finally went all the way to Harlem. Everyone understands. At the end of this, who will be left? Chosen righteous men. Men who actually want to change. Men who come into the UPK with a sincere mind. Men who hate alcoholism and drug addiction and lustfulness and excess and greed. This place will become the bastion of righteousness that Command and General Yohana designed it to be. So first I'll answer a few questions. Now your thought gets back, we'll go over the list, all right?
Come on, sir.
Please read the precept I asked you for. This is a good place.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
What's the book of the Lord? That Bible in your hands. The Bible on your phones now. That's the book of the Lord. You start at Genesis, you go all the way down to the book of Revelations. That's what those books are called now, right? What do you have in the Bible? You got the Old Testament, which includes the Apocrypha. How do I know that the Apocrypha is in the Bible? Because it has been preserved and found in the Bible. The Apocrypha was in those clay jars in the Qumran caves. The Apocrypha was fit right in the Old Testament. It was right in between what you call today the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Apocrypha was the middle of that book. Until the Catholic Church decided that it was too apocryphal, meaning too mysterious, too cryptic, and they took it out, the Bible, and then named it the Apocrypha. Like, we don't know what this book is talking about. This book is a mystery to the Pope. So since it was apocryphal to him, he decided to take it out of the Bible. But it was in the caves, in the clay jars, preserved. Jasher was not in the jar. You understand? The book of Enoch was not in the cave. Was it a good book? I'm sure it was great. It's gone. Everybody understands? Keep going.
No one of these shall fail.
Listen, you got enough books in there. There's plenty of things in that Bible. You don't got to search around the damn earth for every little book in the Bible. You ain't doing what's in the Bible, you dumbass. Excuse my language. You're not doing what's in the Bible itself. You're looking for, you need more books. You need more books to fail in, don't you? You need more laws to break. Deal with those. They're right there in front of you. You can go ahead and learn them and disobey all of it. Everybody understands?
Come on.
All right. No one of these shall fail. Now you do these laws, you follow these books, you're gonna have yourself a life. You're gonna have yourself a family. You're gonna have yourself a nation. Keep going. Appreciate it, all.
None shall want her mate.
You're a little too much here. You're trying to really get me to kick everybody out of here.
Good night.
Feel that too much, y'all.
Come on, sir.
Oh well. Come Yasha.
Y'all should all listen.
None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. Go ahead.
For my mouth.
That's right up.
For my mouth, it hath commanded.
But you better understand. The Lord's mouth commanded those brothers to write down those words. The Lord wrote the Bible. Why? Because he inspired the men who did the work. He inspired them to write those words. Keep going.
And his spirit, it hath gathered them.
And the Lord's spirit has done what?
Gathered them.
Has done what?
Gathered them.
What's the Lord's spirit? What's the Most High spirit? His will. His will gathered together the books in the Bible. He didn't gather Jasher. He didn't gather the book of Enoch, which means it was never supposed to be in the Bible. Where did the book of Enoch go? It's gone. Where's Jasher? It's gone. Whatever. It didn't make the cuts. Everybody understands? All right, next.
Verse 17.
I'm sorry, we done with that. Any other questions?
No other questions, sir. Not at this moment, sir.
All right. Whenever you have one, just let me know. Right?
Okay, come on, sir.
So
Please.
you can just run over in Revelation when it speaks about the first and the second death. Just
No problem. Go ahead and grab that, please. Whenever you're ready.
Come on, right now. Revelation 20 and Right.
I have it, sir.
Yeah.
Come on, sir. You want me to start at 14, sir?
Yeah. I think that's any question.
Revelations chapter 20 and verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Better give it. Did you say the first death as well? You need broken down?
Yeah.
Okay. What verse do you want to start at?
I think it's Revelation 20 and 5.
Okay, come on, sir. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 5.
We got a tumbler in here, short glass. You got one in here?
No,
in the car.
That was the last
Let
one.
me grab one. Is it one in the car? One of those tumblers? Short glasses. Grab one for me, please, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 5, sir. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first
I
resurrection.
need to go up a little bit more. Go up 2 more verses, please.
2 more verses, sir. Verse 3.
Go ahead.
And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up.
So cast him into the bottomless pit is speaking about our oppressor going into a bottomless pit in a metaphor. What's the metaphor? His ability to lie is being trapped. His ability to lie and spread white supremacy was trapped in a spiritual cage for 1,000 years. In those 1,000 years, blacks and Hispanics were actually able to feel good about themselves.
So like you, sir, in that 1,000 years is I know sometimes it'll say 1,000 years meaning metaphorical, but is this 1,000 years meaning literal or is this metaphorical?
It's always metaphorical because even the Dark Ages is not 1,000 years.
Oh, okay, come
like
on,
a clock.
You're right.
You get my point? It's none of it. Whenever that's why it's 1,000 because 1,000 is a general number.
Okay,
but the Dark Ages did not last. Look at your calendar and count to 1,000 years, and that's the end of the Dark Ages.
Oh, okay,
that's not how it was. So it's still a metaphor, but it's talking about the season in the earth that we call the Dark Ages.
Okay,
and it's a season, but it's not 1,000 years. Even when people say that, they're being
facetious.
Exactly. They're just generalizing the Dark Ages.
Call it
1,000 years, all right? But this is the time that you would call the Dark Ages. I'll take this. So what a brother can take it. This is the time you would call the Dark Ages.
Come on, sir.
I appreciate it. Just give me 2 fingers of it, all right? Just short, all right? Go ahead.
And this is the rest of it, sir.
Please.
And set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more.
A seal, what you have to imagine is this is what a seal is like a piece of clay that's thick enough for you to make a print on with your ring. Right? So imagine something being sealed up, tied up, and it's something that anyone could break, but no one would dare to break the seal because the print on the seal would be the print of the authority of the land. It's very similar today to police tape. You know what that is, everyone?
Come on.
Now you see now that's just yellow tape, but you dare not touch it because it says police on it, and if you break it, you're going to go to jail. Well, a seal was just that. It was just a piece of clay, which is basically dirt and water. But it's thick enough to leave a print with someone's ring or someone's badge that they wore around their neck at that time.
Come on.
You press it on there and you walk away. Right? And so these devils, these oppressors are trapped in a cage and a seal has been put on that cage letting everyone know, do not break this seal, do not let them out. Right? Because that was our time to build up our self-esteem. And now years later, the paintings that were drawn and painted during the time of the Dark Ages are what the Most High has given us from the earth to be able to back up what we found in the Bible. I'll tell you how it was, All right, keep going.
till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
It was going to be 1,000 years, a long period of time, when he would not be able to lie and make his face the face of God.
Right.
Make his face the face of goodness and decency and Superman and Wonder Woman and Jesus and the apostles and everything that's good and decent in the earth. For 1,000 years, he couldn't do that. But the Lord also said that he would be let out. This was a temporary break in oppression. Temporary. So after a while, he was let out. Go ahead.
And after that, he must be loosed a little season. This is verse 4.
Just a little while. Even that, what's a little while? That's in general. It's a short time. That's what Paul said that in the New Testament. He said it is high time to awake out of sleep. For the night is far spent and the day is at hand. That was how many thousands of years ago? A long time. It's a metaphor. He wants you to think like that. You understand? You got to think like the time that our oppressor is working right now. You have to think like this is short. This is going to be quick. Right? It's a state of mind. The Bible says in Isaiah, they say if this is a long captivity. Someone give me that, hold that for me. This is a long captivity. It's in the Old Testament, all right? They say if this is a long captivity, buy a field, have a business, because this captivity is so long. Thus saith the prophet of God, woe unto anyone that says that. You cannot serve Christ thinking that you're going to be here a long time, so you just better make your bed here. Right. You can't. You got to live here like a pilgrim, brother, like a stranger. Come on.
Like a lot of days in the world, like I said, YOLO.
You only live once. That's another thing. Like this is, well, it's different. That's a different aspect. That aspect is you're going to die, so you might as well have all your fun right now. Right? And that, of course, is another lie, because when you die, you come back. Right. The Most High gets to hurt you again and again and again. You can't run away from it. And that pleasure is going to hasten your death.
Right.
Even if you believe you only live once, do you have to die tonight? Right. Damn. Well, then why don't you act like you don't only live once? Right. Because believing that you only live once means you got to die what? At 22? 25? 15? Nah, you're going to live forever. Your spirit will never die. So I would suggest that you please God. Because he'll bring you back and hurt you again and again and again. All right? Where we at now? You got the priest of Isaiah 4? Come. This is a long captivity? Yeah. You got it out. Tell them where it is, please.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 28. For therefore he sent unto us in Babylon, saying,
this is during the Babylonian captivity. Another terrible captivity our people were forced to suffer because of our sins. Go ahead.
This captivity is long.
This is what?
This captivity is long.
This is a letter, man. This is a long captivity here in Babylon. Go ahead.
Build the house.
Build a house. You should be building houses because we're going to be here so long. Go ahead.
And dwell in them.
And dwell in those houses. Go ahead.
And plant gardens.
Plant gardens. Farms and fields and wonderful, pastures that you can glory in and have peace of mind while you sit in. Keep going.
And eat the fruit of them.
And eat the fruit from those fields and those farms. Go ahead.
Verse 29. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the ears of Jeremiah the prophet.
So in Zephaniah, this is a good precept to show you that the prophets of God lived during the same time. They were camps. They were a school. Right here, this is Zephaniah reading this to Jeremiah. Right. Now you have the book of Jeremiah and the book of Zephaniah. But these are two cats sitting next to each other in class. Some brother who can't, you can tell who's over who, right? Who's over who in this scenario?
Zephaniah
is over Zephaniah.
Okay, come.
Which is why Zephaniah is reading this letter to his Adonai, to his Lord, saying, look at what they writing here, man.
Okay.
Sir, check this out. They telling us to buy gardens and build houses because we're going to be here so long. He went and read this to his commanding officer. Keep going.
Verse 30. Then came the word of the Most High.
Where'd that word come from? You know it came from the Lord, right? Who said it? What man said it? Just use your logic. It's an important skill when you want to read the Bible. Zephaniah is reading this letter that came from Babylon to Jeremiah. Then came the word of the Most High. Who did the word come from? It came from Jeremiah. That's who he's reading it to, right?
Right.
And Jeremiah is over him. So when Jeremiah talks to Zephaniah, Zephaniah knows that this is God's word.
That's right.
Because it's coming from his superior.
Right.
He knows this cat speaks for God. Read it one more time.
Then came the word of the Most
Read
High.
it from Zephaniah. Read it again.
Verse 29. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the ears of Jeremiah the prophet. Verse 30. Then came the word of the Most High unto Jeremiah.
There you go. That's your logic. That's how you know who said it, right?
Come on.
You can do that with the scriptures where this is God speaking through Jeremiah. You understand? Go ahead.
Saying, verse 31, send to all them of the captivity, saying, thus saith the Most High.
Jeremiah decided to write his own letter. No problem. Here's his letter. Send this to everyone of the captivity, meaning everyone in the Babylonian captivity. Keep going.
Thus saith the Most High concerning Shemaiah the Neelamite, because that Shemaiah hath prophesied unto you, and I sent him not.
I did what?
I sent him not.
This cat Shemaiah who wrote this letter, he prophesying to you. He's not in my camp.
Right.
I didn't teach him. He's not under me.
Right.
What are you doing listening to Shemaiah when I didn't teach him? Does everybody understand the whole UPK thing we got going on? Right, that's this vibe in here. Right, who are you listening to? Some purple sodomite?
Right.
General Yahya didn't send him. Who are you listening to? Some reverend, some preacher? He wasn't raised up in the UPK. He wasn't ordered to start that school. Why are you listening to him? What are you listening to him for? Jeremiah didn't send him, so why are you listening to him? That's this whole vibe that everyone hates about us. This whole we're better than you vibe. We only have that vibe because it is true.
That's right.
Everybody understand?
That's right.
Keep going.
And he caused you to trust in a lie.
I'm trusting in a lie. Listen to this cat that I didn't send. I didn't send him. And he is causing you to trust in a lie. And this is the vibe of all the fake Israelite groups that hate us. If I could think of just one vibe that all the fake Israelite groups have, they all are assimilated. They all are just gentrified Israelite groups. Now you take what we are and just knock the aggression off it, knock the stance off it, knock the uncompromising position off it, make it a little more Christian, a little more what people are used to, right? Even how they all wear the same color, that's all from Christianity, wearing the same thing. That's not our culture. But black people do like you to all wear the same thing. They like that. The Muslims all had nice bow ties. They all wear the same thing. The Catholic priests, they all wear the same thing. How do the Catholic priests dress? They all dressed exactly the same way. Right? Black suit, white collar, that's your Catholic priest. All of them. So because of that, people are expecting a religious person to wear the exact same thing. You get the point. And so Israelite groups are just really assimilated. And all of that purple, and of course the church likes purple. And all of that, Yeshua and Yeshimon nonsense. And all of that, family garbage. All of that, this is for our families. This is for just make, your family in the Shabbat. All of that feels very nice. But in here we breed soldiers. And soldiers leave their families.
That's right.
You understand? That's what they do. Soldiers leave their wives and children at the door while they're waving bye-bye and tears rolling down their eyes because daddy has to go to war. That's what soldiers do. Now in the Shabbat group, She'll see you every Shabbat, and you'll always be there with her all the time, and you won't miss a birthday or whatever that nonsense is they do to these kids. You'll always be there, and you won't be out with another woman. No, never. No, you'll be there with mommy in the house on Shabbat. I didn't tell you to say that, so I don't know where you got that from.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Verse 32. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will punish Shemaiah.
You're going to catch it. He's getting this for that. The Lord is going to punish him. Punish him for saying what? For trying to make people have a concept of slavery that is, we're going to be here a while, assimilate, be more like them, compromise because you got to be here so long. Now, how long are you going to be here? Whenever. 1,000 years, 10,000. But you better act like we're leaving tomorrow. That's how you have to behave. And someone that is trying to make you think differently, we didn't tell him to say that. You get the point. Now you go back to Revelations. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. This is verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them.
So now read one verse before that.
This is verse 3, sir. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more.
That's what the prison represents. Stopping him from lying. Stopping white supremacy, which is a lie.
That's right.
Keep going.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
That's all. How long? A little while. A little season. And that's what we're in that little season right now.
Okay, come
And
on.
it's just going to be a minute. That's it.
Okay.
Just for a second, we got to let this devil be free. Let him run and lie and build churches and governments all over the planet. How long? Just for a second, brother. It'll be over in a minute. It will be over in a second. Keep going.
This is verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And
after the Most High says that, then in this vision, he sees thrones. Right? Remember, because he just said that this devil is going to be loose for a season to lie.
Right.
And then right after that, he sees thrones. Now remember, it's the book of Revelations. So what does that mean? In essence, it's a book of visions. Right? Visions, just like dreams you have in the middle of the night. So then after he sees the devils in the cage and knows that they're going to come out of that cage, then he sees thrones. Keep going.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witnesses of Yahushua.
Then he sees the men who are killed for serving Christ. He sees them in this vision. And he sees them on thrones. They earned those seats because they were willing to die for their king. They are soldiers.
That's right.
Everybody understands?
Go on, sir.
Keep going.
And for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image.
You get that? Well, you know what that's speaking about. Who is the beast? Our oppressor is the beast.
That's right.
He's the one that is locked up in that cage. That's what the whole thing is about. And what's the image of the beast? The image of the beast is the same man who has oppressed and destroyed the children of God. His image is that he is kind and loving and sweet and died for the world. Right? That's the image of the beast. That image is represented in the picture of Jesus Christ that depicts him as a white man. That image speaks. It talks. It's not just a white picture of Jesus.
Right.
It's a picture of the same face that locked you up in jail, killed your grandparents, burned crosses in your yards, and paid to have you put in slavery. But he is kind, loving, forgiving.
Right.
And it makes you look at his actions and ignore his actions and focus on his image.
Right.
That image speaks. Come on.
And what you're saying is so true, sir, because normally in front of the army, you go to school, you put a picture down of Cesar Borgia.
Cesar Borgia, right?
Yeah, and you put some walks in and see it, sometimes
So, common concept.
That's an object on the ground.
They can't step on that.
Common concept.
That's an old UPK tradition. Everybody has been through that. And that, which is why we put it at the door. We put it there on purpose. You got to deal with this as soon as you come in the room.
That's right. That's
You
right.
got the face. If you can't step on this, you probably shouldn't go in this room. Yeah, damn right. It's powerful. It's powerful. It's the image of the beast. It's the idea that he wants you to have about him in your mind. That's what that picture is. They want you to think of every white person like their Jesus. And that has worked. And you absolutely do it today. Every white person is Jesus. All of them are Jesus. Keep going.
Still like it, sir. And which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads.
These men who died for the word of Christ, they didn't worship the image, that sweet, loving, forgiving image. They didn't worship the beast. They didn't worship who he actually is. Who actually worships the beast? Men who are, black Republicans, Hispanic Republicans, people who love Esau's military, people who love Donald Trump. They're not worshiping the image of the beast. They're worshiping the beast. They know that the white man is a killer and they like it. You got a lot of them down south. Black people, Hispanics, who support Donald Trump, love the Confederacy and everything.
That's right.
Love it.
That's right.
And you have people like that. They worship the beast. Whenever when they saw 9/11, it's tonight the anniversary of 9/11? Tomorrow. Listen, when they saw those planes come down, the first thing they thought of is kill them, get them all, invade the country, take the oil. They love the beast. They love that animal, that feeling of we're American. If you F with us, you're going to die. And so they went out and ran off and invaded 3 countries. Iraq, Afghanistan, and it's another one I'm missing. Maybe it's only 2. No, that was beforehand. Iraq and Afghanistan, 2 countries. They went off and invaded Iraq and Afghanistan in the damn war for 20 years. All because blood had to spill. Because you can't do that to America. Let's roll. That's the beast. They went and invaded 2 countries, killed 1 million people for 20 years, and at the end of it, it was for nothing.
Come on, cuz. And the brothers here believe that those Hispanics on the border and all the Hispanics coming up here to North Carolina, because we have an influx of Hispanics here, they believe that they're taking the jobs from, us.
Yeah, from black
people.
And so what do they want people to do to those Hispanics?
They want them to deport them.
Lock them up.
And
Lock them to the border with the guns and, kill them and shoot them. That's the beast. And there are people that like that aspect of white society. They love the fake tough guy aspect. That's what white people are. Fake tough guy.
Come on.
But they like that. It makes them feel strong because their penises are not adequate. And when your penis is not adequate for the pleasure of a woman, you need some other way to be strong. And let's roll and let's kill them. Send them back to Mexico. Build a wall. Right, but when you're adequately supplied, then you can have kindness and mercy on people who need help. You understand? All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Or in their hands, and they lived
in the mark of the beast in their mind. That's Christianity, democracy, capitalism. In your head or in your hands when you kill for those concepts. When you kill for democracy, capitalism, and what's the other one I just said? Christianity. Right? Keep going.
And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years.
So who reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years? Those brothers who died for the Christ and didn't serve the beast in any aspect, didn't kill for the beast in any aspect. How long did they serve and reign with Christ? 1,000 years. Serve with him and reign with him, ruled. sat on their crowns sat on their thrones for 1,000 years. What is that talking about? That's talking about when Christ returns and they get their reward for dying for the Lord. When Christ comes back, these men sit on a throne and they rule not forever, but for a long time. What happens after the 1,000 years for those kings who earn their crowns right now?
They die.
They die. They die. In the kingdom, you die. But here's the good news. You pass something glorious down to your son. Now, when do you die? Not like my friends at 15.
Right.
Well, the first one when he was 11 years old. That was the first one of my friends that got killed at 11. 11 years old, James. 11, he started. Oh, shit, I forgot about David. That was the 3rd grade. How old are you in the 3rd grade?
8, 9.
He was in the 3rd grade, David Smith. Michael Jackson came and put a beaded jacket in his coffin because he just so happened to be doing a concert in Philadelphia that day. And I went to the funeral and there was the jacket from Michael Jackson in the casket that he put in before the funeral started. That was in the 8th grade, David Smith. He went to my school. He got his throat slit. This is good for you women out there, some of you young practicing whores. David had a sister who was a slut. She was sneaking boys in her house during school. She was older than David. She was 15, 14, the young age, 14 years old. She's sneaking boys in the crib to have sex, right? That day, I remember specifically, we got out early from school, right? And something happened when we got early dismissal, right? So I said bye to David. David went, I'm in the 3rd grade. I'm playing around the schoolyard. David went home. David is missing for 3 days. The cops come to our school asking us questions. I'm like, when we walk home this way, we used to cut through some abandoned building to get home because we were from the city and stupid. So we just cut through some abandoned. I said, hey, maybe he's in there. I don't know where he is, but we do cut through this building. So I'm telling us the cops, they question us and questioning us. Come to find out, this is what happened. On that day, on that early dismissal day, David went home and caught these 2 boys in the house having a threesome with his sister. When the boys saw him, they got their clothes on and they ran out the house. But one of the boys, David knew. David knew one of the boys. Salakia, I messed up the story. That's not what happened. These cats were having a threesome with David's sister. But when David came in the house, he caught them robbing the house. Because one day while they were both there having sex with her, they put tissue in the door so they could come back when everyone was in school, right? David walked in when these 2 boys were robbing the house from the lock that they had already jimmied so they could get in. The other boy ran out, but David knew the other boy. He knew him. And so when both of them ran out, one of them realized that David knows me. He came back in the house, cut David's throat with his father's knife, shoved his body in a duffel bag. That whole time David was missing. He was at the end of the block in the sewer because we were in the 3rd grade, so David was very small. That was the 3rd grade. That's the first one. After that, it was 11, and then it just kept going. And then the whole, by then, prison started with the death row and the blah, 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 and the blah, 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 and they getting shot, and everybody getting killed, and this is hell, right? Now, there are men that are willing to die for this to end. Right. Men that are willing to risk their lives for this to end. That's right. Those men get a crown. Those men get a throne. And at the end of this, when they have lived for such a long time being kings on this earth, and their sons never go through what David went through. That's right. Their sons get to thrive and grow and get old themselves. Right? That's why these brothers did this work. Yes, they're going to die, but the life that they're going to have is so amazing, and they're going to die after such a long period of time. They'll have a lot of time to raise up good boys. That's right. Everybody understands. So like I
said, is that rulership going to be with the body Christ had?
Yes. That's these men. These men got delivered on the chariots. And the people that get on the chariots, their bodies change within the twinkling of an eye. Right? And these men get on the chariots because they died for Christ. And the dead in Christ rise first. Do you understand? That's another precept. All right? Keep going.
This is verse 5, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
Who are the rest of the dead? Now I told you who the first dead are those men who died for Christ.
Right.
And because of that, they got to sit on the throne for 1,000 years. Then they died. But who are the rest of the dead? The people who didn't die for Christ. Who are they? Brother in the back? No. They're not the rest of the dead.
So like
they died, but they didn't die for Christ.
So like us.
No.
Because we're walking dead.
No, not that. Read it again. There's a card. Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
That's what you need, brother. I basically gave you the answer. The first dead, how'd they die?
They died for Christ.
They died for Christ. So then, when did they die? They died for Christ, but then they sat on thrones for 1,000 years because they died for Christ. What did Christ say? 1 second. What did Christ say when he walked the earth? When Peter said, Lord, we have given them all for thee. What shall we receive? What did Christ say?
You should receive 12 crowns and
Ye that are with me in this generation, in the regeneration, you shall sit on 12 thrones, ruling the 12 tribes of Israel. What happened to most of the 12 disciples? They were killed. Right? Does that mean they don't get their throne?
Nah.
Christ said they would get it.
Right.
So when do they get it? When they come back in the regeneration. Meaning you die, and let me give you the whole picture. You die in a past life. You brothers sitting in this room right now, those of you that endure until the end, you were men who were with Christ and who died. Who died in the past. Some terrible death, being hung upside down on a cross, being stabbed, being killed, being stoned for Christ. Because of that, you receive the honor of being with him now. You understand? You're with him now because you were with him before. And you were able to be with him now. Right? And if you endure till the end and you get your new body and on the chariot, then you will realize, damn it, I'm one of them brothers from the past. I'm here now. I get it now. And then you now get the throne that he promised you in Galilee. He told you you would get it. And now he comes in front of you on Mount Zion as he's putting a crown on your head and says, didn't I tell you that I would give you a crown if you stood with me? And that day you realize he said it. And I lived and died and came back. And here I am, and I'm on Mount Zion getting a crown on my head because I was stabbed and killed in Galilee 2,000 years ago. Then you get your crown and you're ruling. Then your beard gets good and gray and long, and you're sitting down and you got so much wealth and power and supernatural power. The type of power that you can rule the world thinking about the people under you. You think about your land and think about, is there some Moabite somewhere not working to the best of his ability, not suffering and bending his back to the plow? And you appear in his house and scare him to death and kill him and his wife and his kids, and everyone else gets to work on time tomorrow.
Right.
They get out there and they work in those fields. And they work and they work. And then, boy, then it comes a time your eyes start to get dim, your eyesight goes bad, and now it's time to lay on some giant bed you have. Bigger than me. What they got now, the California King?
California King.
I don't know what they'll call that bed. The planet bed. You know, some bed big as a damn room. A nigga bed. Some bed you can't find your rib on. Where she's somewhere on this bed. You go and try to look for it. That kind of bed. And then you close your eyes and you die. And then That boy who you raised up, he gets all of that land, all of those slaves, and then one day he has a baby boy. And that's you. And that's the system here. The dead that come not back again, the people who die for Christ, they're going to rule the kingdom of heaven for 1,000 years. Then their sons will. Who is your son? The people who did not die first, but they had to be born in the kingdom because they didn't stand for Christ. So now they didn't make it onto the chariots. You understand? They didn't make it. If you don't make it on the chariots, you die. Right? But you come back. You will not live again until the 1,000 years. You have to wait for your father to die until you can come back. Because you're going to die in America. You're going to die in Trinidad and Mexico because you did not serve Christ. So when Christ returns, he's going to burn you and kill you. But after 1,000 years, what will happen?
You'll come back.
You'll come back to the kingdom of heaven. All Israel shall be saved. Just remember that. Remember what I just said and read it again.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
How long? Go back to read how long those other kings lived or ruled.
Okay, come on.
The rest of the dead come not. The rest of the dead come not back. What did you say the word you use again? The rest of the dead.
The rest of the dead lived not again.
The rest of the dead what again?
Lived not again.
The rest of the dead what?
Lived not again.
The rest of the dead are not alive. Are not alive again. Living again is otherwise known as
resurrection,
reincarnation. Everybody understand, right? The rest of the dead, these people who died for Christ, they're coming back now to rule for 1,000 years. The people who didn't die for Christ, didn't serve Christ, they're not going to live until those men die.
Okay,
I'll read it one more time. Go ahead.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
Now go back to the other men who sit on those thrones. How long did they sit on those thrones?
And I saw the thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image.
These are men. These are one West men. They died for Christ. They don't serve that beast.
Right.
They don't serve his image.
Right.
They don't worship in their mind, worship him in their mind or with their hands. Go ahead.
Neither had received the mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Mm-hmm. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
How long?
1,000 years.
How long?
1,000 years.
Go to tell me when those other people come back, when they live again.
But the rest of the dead liveth not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
Why is it saying the 1,000 years?
Because
as opposed to 1,000 years, Abraham.
Because the 1,000 years is talking about when they reign with Christ 1,000 years.
I'll take it. Give him a hand.
Yeah.
I'll take it. The 1,000 years is these men live 1,000 years. Those other people, they don't come back until after these men die. You understand? They don't come back. This is the next generation of people. The first generation of people are people who earned their way on the chariots, who earned their way there. How do they get on the chariots?
Because it's like
95.
They give me the truth.
You're right, but I need you to bring me right here where we are.
They died for Christ.
What else did they do? Isupk?
They didn't worship the beast.
What else did they do?
They didn't take his image.
What else did they do?
They waited 1,000 years.
Say again?
They waited 1,000 years.
No, waiting don't get you on the king in the chariots.
They didn't have the mark in their forehead.
They didn't get the mark on their forehead. They didn't get the mark in their hand. All those things that you just read are what get you on the chariots.
Right.
Then, right then, you get to go because you did all of those things or not did the things you weren't supposed to do. So what happens? You on the chariot. You're not dying. You're going to live. There are other people who are going to die, and they won't live again until your 1,000 years is up. Why do they die? Because they have the mark of the beast. Because they worship the image. Because they worship the beast. Because they did all those things that you didn't do. So they die. But they come back once your turn is up. Do you understand? Then there are new children coming into the kingdom. They didn't make it there with their effort, with their zeal. They made it there because your turn was up. And now here comes the sinners, the former sinners, coming back into a better place. You get my point? You got to be strong to make it there in the beginning.
That's right.
But after a while, everyone who died here will be in the kingdom. Though they won't be, they won't be you.
Right.
They won't be able to do what you did, but they'll come up under you. They'll be the next generation. Look at our oppressor's kingdom, right? Our oppressor had George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Give me some more of them cats, man, who rebelled against England. John Adams. All those cats that signed that Declaration of Independence. Put your name on that thing, what meant you committed treason against England.
Right.
And you signed a confession saying, yes, I am a traitorous bastard against the crown of England. And they signed that shit and sent it there. Risking all of their wealth and family and risking their very lives. If they lost that war up, they would be drawn and quartered. Who knows what the hell that is? That is the punishment in England for rebellion against the crown.
That's right.
You can go look it up. If you rebel against the crown, the law says you must be drawn and quartered. Come on.
It's similar to what's going on in Afghanistan.
No, worse than that.
Salakia, drawn is like tortured and
Worse than that. Drawn and quartered. It happened to the cat Braveheart. What's his name?
Salakia, sir.
Huh?
It means you got to be spread out and your entrails got to be ripped out of you.
Yeah, drawn and quartered means first they tie you to 4 horses.
Right.
Then they say go, and the 4 horses just take off.
Come.
That is how you are quartered.
Come.
You understand? Right. Drawn means they take a knife in. After you land there, your arms and legs pulled off. They take a knife and cut open your stomach and pull out your entrails. That's drawn. That was in the law. Right. In the 1700s. And that cat Braveheart, I forget his name, it happened to him.
William Wallace.
And it happened to a few other people. Because they rebelled, they went to war against their mother country, England.
Come.
And George Washington, them cats signed that thing and then went to war. Brother, they had some guts, huh? Yeah. That was the first generation in America. Those were the people who went out and did the work. So now, who came after them? Donald Trump and, what's that president name today? Biden. He's no George Washington. You get my point? He ain't that. But guess what? He's ruling George Washington's country. Why? Because he's the one that comes after George Washington. He's not the one that fought England for the country. So the city is named Washington, D.C. You get my point? But he gets to rule Washington, D.C. because his forefather did the work. That's right. It's the same concept in the kingdom of heaven.
Salakia.
Go ahead, please.
It's like David unifying the kingdom and then Solomon getting
now Solomon rules in what city? What's the name of it? The city of David. Get my point? And Christ sits on whose throne?
The throne of David.
That's what it's called. It's not called the throne of Christ. Right. It's not called the throne of Jesus. It's called the throne of David. It's David's throne. Christ sits on his father David's throne. David did the work. The throne is his. But the people that come after get to benefit from the bloodline they're in. And that's how kingdoms work, young brothers. That's it. Somebody has to be the George Washington. Somebody has to go do that crazy thing that makes people call you a cult leader. You gotta go do it now because you do it, your son won't be David. It won't like David Smith. You understand? Your son won't be him. Well, all my other friends I grew up with, Your son won't be like them. You'll have a better son that'll benefit from what you did. Everybody understands that. You get the point out. Did I get the whole first death, second death thing for you or not?
The second death now is what?
I
know this one is the first resurrection.
Right. The first death. Give me the verse. I don't think I'm at the verse you wanted. Did I get?
His verse that he spoke about, sir, was verse 14. But up 2 verses above it is verse 12, and it says,
"All right, Bob, just give me the question that you had."
I'm
sorry. Can you give me the precept so I can just read wherever your question comes from in the Bible? All right.
The first resurrection that we just read here, in verse 5.
One second.
That down.
Okay, you good? Go ahead.
Just the one where it talks about the second that I'm trying to
give me the verse. Where is it?
14.
The 14.
Read 14.
And this is chapter 20, Revelation chapter 20, verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Death and read above it. I'm missing something.
This is verse 13, sir. And the sea gave up the dead which were in.
I read this all the way down so I can catch the thread.
Yeah, come on.
Right? Otherwise, because of its visions, I lose the thread. What verse did we stop at just now?
We started at verse 5, sir.
So your question is in 14.
Right.
Then you better go up to, just so I can catch the thread, go up to 12.
Yeah, come on, sir. This is verse 12, sir. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. And the books were open, and another book was open.
Okay, the dead, small, and great is speaking about those people who died when Christ returned. Okay. They died, and now they get to come back, right? If not, but I might need one more verse. I might be
verse 11, sir. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them.
Okay, I'm missing something again. You about to read 9. Go ahead.
Okay, this is verse 9, sir. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp.
I'm still missing it. You might have to go back to 5. I'll just try to speed it up just so I can catch the.
Okay, come on, concert. Verse 5. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Verse 6.
First resurrection is what?
Is the people who then suffer for Christ.
The people who die on Judgment Day.
Come on.
When they are born into the kingdom, that's the first resurrection. In essence, it's the first generation of people coming back from the dead who died on Judgment Day. Just try to understand it like that.
So like when you say Judgment Day, what do you mean by that?
Christ returns with the chariots and kills everybody.
Okay,
except for 1/3 of the nation of Israel.
The ones that died.
When they come back after 1,000 years, that's the first resurrection.
Okay, come.
Yeah, right? The first resurrection is when all of your friends who you love right now who are going to die.
That's not in the truth.
That's not in the truth.
Come on.
All your mama and your father and your cousins and cousin Willie and all of your high school buddies.
Come on.
They're all going to die. All of them. They don't come into the truth, they die. But here's the good news. Cousin Willie comes back. Right? He'll be back in the kingdom of heaven. He'll be part of the first resurrection.
Oh, okay.
You get the point.
Come on.
All of your friends and high school Facebook friends come back. They'll come back in the first resurrection. So don't feel so bad, all right?
Come on.
Keep going.
Verse 6. Blessed and holy is that have part in the first resurrection.
Blessed and holy. Read 9 again.
This is verse 5, sir. This is verse 6.
Read 5 again.
But the rest of the dead liveth not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
I got you.
This is the first resurrection.
Stop. Switch it. The first resurrection is the people who died for Christ. Because they died for Christ, they're part of the first resurrection. The first resurrection are what you are in right now. You're in the first, meaning you died in the past. That's the one I forgot about. The first one when they gave their lives for Christ. You give your life for Christ, that's why you're here. You're here because of 2,000 years ago in Galilee, your head was chopped off because you followed Christ. You have part in the first resurrection. The first resurrection are the people who died for Christ coming back to get their throne. Everybody understand? That's the first resurrection. Keep going.
This is verse 6, sir. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection.
All right, got it. You died for Christ, you get to come back and sit on the throne. Right? Like Peter. Peter was killed for Christ, but he was promised the throne before he got killed. When he comes back, he gets his throne. Blessed and holy are those brothers who died for Christ, because in the resurrection, you get your throne. Just like Christ said, you want to be part of the first resurrection. The men in the past who died for Christ, and now they sit in these seats because of what they did in the past. Keep going.
Salakia, sir. On such the second death hath no power.
What's the second death? Give him a hand. That's the second death. So now, because you died 2,000 years ago in Galilee, you came back today with him right now. So because of that, you live through Judgment Day. The other people, they don't live through Judgment Day.
Salakia, sir, you get kicked out of the school.
Give him a hand. You brothers got kicked out of the school, you're going to die when Christ returns. Give him a hand. That's a fact. You are done. That is it for you. Go to Disney World. Go to Disney World. There's wonderful things down there. They got that mouse down there. Do you know it is Disney? It is Mickey Mouse's birthday every day in Disney World. Every day. I was here when I was a kid. I said, "Is this a birthday?" My dad said, "Nigga, it's his birthday every day." He's mad as hell all the time. It's his birthday every day. Stop being dumb with all that shit. I went in like, damn, we just so happened to come here on Mickey Mouse's birthday. Who knew? That's his birthday. Lo and behold, he was right. So whenever you go, it's Mickey Mouse's birthday. Have a good time, man, because when Christ comes back, you're dead. You're going to die because you didn't earn your way on the chariots. You're not part of the first resurrection. So you have to die. Keep going.
But they shall be priests of the Most High and Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
There you go. Everybody gets that. That's them cats that died in the past, living right now for him, with him. Keep going.
This is verse 7, sir. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
What does that mean? That's happening right now.
Yeah, come on.
It's going on right now. Here we are, sitting here. Why are we here?
Because we died for Christ. Yeah, come on.
And who else is here?
The rest of the.
Well, no. Who else is here?
Oh, Satan. Yeah, come on.
Loose. And he's loose. He's loose right now. He's lying, free to lie. And here we are, back from the reincarnation, here doing what we've always done. Living the life we've always lived. That's why Christ said this: ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. You understand that?
Come on.
So you might think you went and made a decision on joining the UPK. You know, did your research? You think you're a research nut, right? You think you're so smart. Is that how you got in there? You did your research. You think that's what it was, your research. you think, the rest of those people, they stupid. I wouldn't look those words up. Oh, you looked up the words. Oh, snap. That's how you got in here.
So like it, sir, if you was like me, when you heard this, you tried to prove it wrong, like over and over again. You know.
So, you didn't make a calculation to be in here. Right. You were, my sheep hear my voice, and when I call, they answer. That's right. You did nothing to be in here now. You did something in the past. And your name is on a list of men to come into this school. He went and found you because he was always looking for you. Just like Jeremiah. He told Jeremiah, I knew thee before thou was in thy mother's womb.
That's right.
He always was going to come get that cat. Always. And you brothers that endure until the end, the ones that don't get kicked out, you're somebody from the past. And you didn't choose this school, it chose you.
That's right.
You understand? And if I could, the sisters too. The Bible says that the sick women came and gathered themselves unto Christ and provided for him with their substance. That's what they did. There are women in the past that fed him and washed his feet right before he was about to die. And Christ said, what this woman has done, it shall be remembered in every generation. Those sisters that were there with him when he was sad because he was about to die, depressed because he was about to die, and they comforted him, they fed him, they clothed him, they are coming back into the earth, and they're going to be sitting in a seat that has been prepared for them because of what they've done in the past.
That's right.
The sisters that endure until the end. The sisters I don't kick out.
This is verse 8, sir. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
You get that? That's the devil, white supremacy. He's doing it in Afghanistan, doing it in Iraq, doing it all over the planet Earth. I'm good to go, Warriors. Who was? That's what's happening right now. Go ahead.
Gog and Magog.
Who is that? Gog and Magog. Russia and them with Russia. That's Magog or of God. Gog is Russia. Magog is of God. So who is Gog? Russia. Who's Magog? Afghanistan. Afghanistan is Magog because now that the U.S. have left, Russia has came in to be the number one ally of Afghanistan. Now Afghanistan is of Russia. Who is of Russia?
So like
Cuba is of Russia. Come on.
Also Syria, sir.
Syria is all of Russia. That's Magog, right? Meaning the governments who side with the enemy of America, which is Russia. That's everybody understand. We go ahead now. You talking now?
Constant.
You sure? Any questions online?
Come on, sir.
Quickly, all right.
1 second. 1 second here. 1 second.
Because I think 14 explains the second that where it says where hell and the dead and hell will cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Right.
So
That
this
should
is
confuse me again. I damn, I got to read it from one to keep up with it. Okay.
Come on.
Just now, you say what you just said one more time.
in verse 14 it said, and death and hell will cast into the lake of fire.
Right.
This is the second death.
Okay, I got you. So break it down.
This is the second death is what I would say, judgment day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right, that's when hell and death is thrown in the lake of fire. What's hell and death? Having your throat slit when you're in the third grade.
Right.
Being poor and suffering in poverty. And having to, swim across the Rio Grande River just to provide a safe place for your daughter and then dying on the trip. That's hell. That burns with America. All of that, hold your point. All of that burns with America. All of it. All that oppression is gone once this place is gone. That's what it means. Go ahead.
So like I said, but this is not what the Christian church says, hell and burning and falling in a pit forever and burning up. You know what I'm saying?
That's somebody that's trying to escape from reality.
Right.
It's like drug addicts. A lot of you drug addicts out there, you just always trying to escape from reality. Christianity is a major drug, the biggest drug.
Right.
So you'll be waiting for some terrible time as you live in that hovel. You're waiting for there's a time coming that's going to be so bad as you getting dragged out of the cop car and being thrown into jail. Boy, one day it's going to be some hell around here. You're going to be burning up as you sitting in Houston when the power is out and there's no electricity and that hot ass house, hot with no air conditioner in Louisiana, hot with no refrigerator Hot as
hell.
I mean, you might want to just look around. You in Louisiana with no electricity at all, with none, sitting on a goddamn front porch, grilling like you on a damn having a barbecue.
Damn right.
Grilling outside because you have no stove, you got no air conditioning, you don't have a fan, and you're in Louisiana talking about how hot hell is going to be when you die.
Right.
You should look around.
Damn right. That's right.
Get into your reality and just see what's happening, and it could help. It could help to understand things. All right. Where are we at now? Questions?
Questions, sir. Questions are online. So this is Salakia. My stay blessed. I
don't need the name out. Just go
ahead. Come on, sir. Salakia, sir. What are the best scriptures to read for staying focused, being obedient?
I got you. Let me give you one. Bear with me.
Just tell us something so I can look it up for you.
Sorry, what's the last part of the question?
Being obedient, sir. Staying focused, being obedient. So I guess.
Here's a good scripture I would give you. Read Romans the 13th chapter. Okay? Bear with me, all right? Is this Romans? Sorry, I think this is 1 Peter. 1 Peter 2 and 3. Yeah, I believe that. No, I'm sorry. 1 Peter 2 and 13. Tell me if that's right.
Okay, 1 second, sir. First Peter 2 and 3, sir?
1 Peter 2 and 13.
2 and 13,
so
sir?
If you're someone in the UP, 2 and 13.
I got it, sir.
If you're someone in the UPK and you need precepts to help you be obedient because you're struggling with being obedient, it's hard to do what you're told, right? Now, before I read this precept, who in here is a parent? Your parents, right? Okay, let's say when a time comes and your daughter says, you tell her to wash the dishes. You tell her not to go outside with them boys. You tell her to do her homework. You tell her to stop going on Facebook and shaking her ass like a slut on some TikTok video.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And she just keeps doing it. And then she says, Dad, what's a precept you can give me that could help me to obey you? When she wakes up, she will realize that you don't need a precept to obey me. All you have to do is understand what's going to happen if you don't.
Right.
See, kids, how many of y'all, is that how you get them to take out the trash? Precepts?
Hell no. Hell no.
Give her no precept.
Hell no.
So you be like, go to your room and go to sleep. You first break it down in the scriptures.
Nah.
Funny like that.
Funny. Come on, sir.
And this is the problem with pride. When you're proud, you think someone has to convince you to do what's right.
That's right.
I don't have to show you a scripture to get you to obey. If you don't obey, I'm going to hurt you.
Damn right.
That's just it.
Right.
Right, Desmond, I'll show you in the Bible. Okay, since you need, let me give you a precept. All right, go ahead. 1
Peter 2 and verse 13, sir. Mm-hmm. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Most High's sake.
That's a good one. That's not that.
You want Hebrews 13 and 17?
I thought I wanted this is 1 Peter 2 and 13.
Come on, sir.
I'm at the wrong one again.
1 Peter 2 and
1 second. What's the one you said, Nitha?
Hebrews 13 and 17.
No, not that one.
It says,
they bear the sword not in vain.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, yeah, it's Romans 13, like before. Romans 13 and 4.
Yeah.
Babity, hold on. Romans 13 and 1. There you go.
Come on, sir. I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
This is Romans 13, Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Read that again.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
What's a power? A power is a God, right? A power, an authority. Right? The Lord said in the book of Psalms, ye are gods. You are gods, but you shall die like men. You are the authorities. And the Most High set up authorities on this planet Earth. And the number one authority here on the planet Earth to God is Commanding General Yohana.
That's right.
That's just a fact. That is impossible to debate. Right. You are absolutely free to challenge it if you want. Right. You can. Right? It's a free country, right? You can. Read on.
For there is no power but the Most High.
Meaning when you see this man who serves God, and you might think he's just a man, how can he convince me to obey him? What can I do to stop myself from being disobedient? What you first should realize is that God put him over you. That's right. He did it. Now, if you don't know, you'll find out. This might help you. What was your life like before you found this school? Just think about that. So then now with that in your mind, you know that the men over you in the school represent God. That's who they represent. And if they represent God, then there is a punishment for disobeying them. Everybody understands that? Because now if they're just men, maybe they're the supervisor on your job, right? You got supervisors on your job. They tell you what to do. If you don't do it, hell, you can find a new job.
Yes, sir.
Right? You can go on unemployment. You don't have to do what they tell you to do. You choose to do what they tell you to do for money or gain. But if you don't want to, hell, no harm, no foul, just find a new job, right? But if this is God's authority over you, then if you disobey him, you disobey God. And there is a punishment for disobeying God. That when you learn that punishment, it's not learned through teaching you a precept. That's not how that lesson gets taught. Keep going.
So like it, sir. The powers that be are obtained of the Most High.
The powers that be are obtained of the Most High, meaning you in the UPK, you have Commanding General Yohana, you got generals, you got captains, you got officers, right? And those are the powers that be. Right. The people over you that aren't men being over you, but are God's representatives in your life. They are the powers, the entire Godhead, or the power structure in the UPK. That's right. Those are around because God put them around. God put them over you. Keep going.
This is Salaki verse 2. Whosoever therefore resist the power, resist the ordinance of the Most High. Resisted. God, Salaki.
Right? Read it one more time.
Whosoever resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the Most High.
If you resist these men who are the authority, then you are resisting the rules of God. That's right. That's it. It's here, sitting here right in the Bible. It's right in front of you, and it's in the New Testament. That's right. If you resist them, you are resisting God's rules. Right. And if you believe in the Bible, there it is. Keep going.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
That's how you learn that lesson. You learn that lesson by damnation. You're going to see when I kick you out of school. You're going to learn. It's going to be so clear to you. You're going to learn something that you can't learn by sitting in a chair, opening a book. You're going to learn a lesson that is priceless. A lesson, oh my God. I went and saw the camp for 2 years before I came into the truth. In the meantime, I got paralyzed. In the meantime, lost the use of my thumb and lost, this thing was down to damn a bone. It's very strong right now, so be careful. but at the time, after it was a bone and I didn't have my hand, I was ready to come to class. Nobody showed me anything. It wasn't a scripture that brought me. Right. right? Being paralyzed and having Captain Tau War wipe my behind, that made me come on into class. That made me come on in. I said, you know what? It might be time to come into the UPK. You're going to learn a lesson too when I kick you out of school. You're going to get paralyzed. Your children are going to die. Terrible, terrible things are going to happen to you. And you're going to learn a lesson that can't be learned in a book. Keep going.
This is verse 3, sir. For rulers are not a terror to good works.
A lot of you are very scared about being kicked out of school. You shouldn't be. Right? Once Commander General Yohana is done with North Carolina and purging this school of drunkards and drug addicts and smokers and, horny old men. Once he's done with that, he's going to send me to another school, right? And you should be afraid because it's going to be a terrible thing. Wait till you go tell your family that you were kicked out of school. Ooh, that's a rough one now. Because then really that means your mom was right because she told you shouldn't join. And then you're going to go to her and say, I got kicked out. What you say? What happened? You ain't going out to camp this week? You try to lie about it for a little bit. No, Ma, they said it was going to rain. But eventually, your mom and your wife, oh my God, your wife. Listen, wait till your wife finds out that you were kicked out of school. And wait till she finds out why. Wait till she finds out she's sleeping next to a drunk and a deviant, a pedophile. Oh, brother. Well, listen, you should be afraid if you're doing those kind of things, right? But there are other brothers and sisters that have no reason to be afraid because these leaders are not a terror to good works. That's right. If you're doing what's right, you got nothing to be worried about, huh? But if you thought you could come into this school and be a stinking, embarrassing drunk, and I have to sit and look at you and suffer your stink every day, you shouldn't be surprised that the day is coming. What do you think? We are Christians? Do you think we need you here? We don't care about membership. Who joins us? Otherwise, we have a band. We don't have a band because we're not trying to get people to come in here. Right? Otherwise, we'd exalt women and give you music and flowers. And put flowers up here and tell you and have a whole sermon about how you're going to get a man. We don't care if women come in here. Who cares? We don't care if brothers come in here. It's irrelevant to us. So knowing that, why would you even think we would let you stay in here the way you are? That's the part that shocks you. You grew up in church, and because of that, you think, you're needed. You're important, but you're not important in the UPK. And here, someone else is important. And here, you have to care about someone else. No one gives a damn about you at all. Do you understand?
Come on, sir.
But if you're going to do the right thing, then you don't have to be concerned about that because you'll do the right thing. Keep going.
So, like I said, this is.
Take it right here, brother, up front. You know where we are?
Go ahead. Verse 3. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil.
But to what?
To the evil.
Evil what?
Works.
Thank you. Give him a hand.
That's right.
So you understand? So in essence, if you're doing evil works, then the rulers are going to terrorize you. It's right here. Do you understand? It's in front of you.
Come on, sir.
Read it one more time.
Verse 3. For rulers.
For what?
For rulers.
Spell the word.
R-U-L-E-R-S.
Not rules, but rulers. A ruler is a person. He's a ruler. Rulers are not a terror to good works. Keep going.
But to the evil.
But to the evil works. If you are working evil, if you are doing something that's evil, the Lord has rulers that are going to terrorize you. That's why I'm making this trip through North Carolina. And I'm not here to fellowship. I pray you understand that. That is not why I came down here, to fellowship with you. I'm here to kick you out the school, to purge the school of you. We're going to be better without you. Yes, you're going to die, and that's sad. But the school will be better.
Right.
Keep going. You got it.
Will thou then not be afraid of the power?
Will you not be afraid of what?
The power?
Of what?
The power?
If you know that these rulers are going to terrorize your evil works, shouldn't you be afraid of the power? Shouldn't you be afraid of their authority? You should be afraid.
Right.
I don't know what you women thought y'all were doing at Facebook, thinking that we weren't going to find out about it. I don't even know what your problem was, or what you thought about all your damn Facebook accounts. I remember it was some slut down here that was selling herself online on some old, what was that mess called? It was like, horny men come get a woman site. It's some site. What's the name of that one? That one to be on. I'm joking. I was trying to catch you. I thought I could catch you. If you'd have said anything, you was out the game. Give him a hand. At least he's smart enough to know not to ask. I had that brother open that door and get you the hell out of there. Good job. Now you don't remember the name of it. It's like
I'll tell you this.
It's like if you're old and you have money, and you can go in there.
Sugar Daddy.
Sugar Daddy. SugarDaddy.com. There's a site called SugarDaddy.com. Is that the one you think that ain't the one? Didn't get him again. No. SugarDaddy.com. This bitch is on SugarDaddy.com with a profile on the SugarDaddy.com in North Carolina. SugarDaddy.com. And then when I asked this stupid bitch, I said, "What were you going to sell yourself?" Here's what she said. She said, "I just wanted to know what I could get for myself." She said, "I was just bored." That's the thing. Here we go. Listen, you dumb bitches. Please don't think that being bored gives you the license to do anything. Because I was just bored. I'm so bored. Let me tell you something that no one tells a black woman or Hispanic woman. Listen carefully. If you're bored and you're lonely and you have nothing to do, bitch, get a job.
That's right.
Get a job. Make some effing money. You need something to do. Go back to school, close your legs, and put something in your mind. Go get a job. That's what you should do. Instead of working some worthless penny job forever that doesn't exercise your skill, exercise your thinking, so you just sitting there Ubering and working at McDonald's, working a few hours, sitting up there doing nothing. Why don't you go get a job that is fulfilling, that actually exercises all of the skills and energy that you have in a boundless amount, as opposed to working a nothing job that makes pennies, sitting in a Section 8 house, and now because of that, you're so bored, you just want to see what you could get on SugarDaddy.com. What did he want? I talked to a couple of these men, talked to them. You're a slut and a whore, and I'm getting rid of you. You're gone. Keep going.
Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the Savior.
But there are other sisters. There are other brothers. These sisters cannot be had. Do you understand me? You can't have them. You can look and fantasize all in the hell all you want, but you cannot come near other sisters. There's nothing you can do to get them. Nothing. They don't go with sugar daddies, and they don't got profiles up for horny old men. You can't be with them. They're untouchable. You understand? You cannot have them. While other women, you just are easily had by everybody, and that's why you got to leave. But there are other sisters that are so decent and so pure that they're untouchable. They're so rare and precious that it's extremely hard to ever get one of them. That's the kind of sister that can be in here. There are other brothers out there live a life of such a discipline, man. Watch everything they do. They're careful to conduct themselves like men of God. They're careful to never do anything that might embarrass the UPK.
Right.
They're appreciative of the chance that they were given to be better than their father, better than their uncles.
Right.
And they work at it. And they want to sin the same way everybody wants to sin. But they are so precise and careful and disciplined that they fight the fight that you don't fight out. There are others, brother, who are sitting in this room and watching online who you are not worthy to sit next to. Keep going.
Verse 4, for he is the minister of the Most High.
You better believe that. Now, I'm going to prove to you that God sent me in there. You're going to realize it. You're going to know it. There's going to be nothing you can do about it. You're going to be helpless. And then you'll know that really you're disobeying God. Keep going.
To thee for good.
For what?
For good.
For what?
For good.
For money.
For good.
For gain.
For good.
These rulers are in your life to help you. Right? To help you. To actually help you, because this is the help that you need. If not, you're going to be just like everyone else in your neighborhood. Everyone that you watch, all of the people that you look at and think about, and you're going to just be so average and regular. You're going to be an old black word. You're going to be common. Just common. And you don't want to be common. You don't want that. Keep going.
But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid.
Read it again.
But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid.
Keep going.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
Read that again.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
Yeah, they're not carrying that sword for nothing, right? I pray you understand it. You're not carrying that sword for nothing. They have power and authority, and they're going to use it. The Commander General Yohana sent me down here with a sword, and I am going to bring it back wet. I'm going to be able to report back to him in Harlem, brother, and let him know that North Carolina is cleansed. Keep going.
For he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath.
A lover. A lover, is that what it says?
A revenger.
A kisser.
A revenger.
A hugger.
A revenger.
A slap you on the forehead and heal you of all your back pain.
A revenger.
A revenger. For he is a revenger. Go ahead.
To execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
I think you understand. If you don't understand, you will at the end of class, all right? You'll understand. Anything else? Questions?
Another question, sir. This is Captain Amaya Yashar.
Class over at 9, right?
Okay, come on, sir. Captain Amaya Yashar says, Shalom, sir. If I can get explain fasting often and what it does to you in the spirit.
Briefly, after this, I gotta get into my topic, right? Fasting is denying yourself something absolutely necessary. Christ said man cannot live by bread alone. Why did he say that? Because Satan was trying to tell him that he had to eat when he was on his fast. Christ was on the fast, and Satan was saying, you have to eat. If you don't eat, you'll die. Christ said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded from the mouth of God. By denying yourself food and or water, you are denying yourself something essential for life. Something that if you don't get it, you could die. 3 days without water, you're dead. 40 days without food, you're dead. Right? You need food to live. You need water to live. And if you can deny yourself that, which is essential in life, couldn't you deny yourself the things that are not essential? Right? If you can deny yourself food and water, you can't deny yourself whores, prostitutes, sluts, pork, shrimp, drugs. Now you have to have a cigarette, right? You need one, right? You know what else you need? Water. If you can deny yourself water, guess what? You're able to also deny yourself a cigarette. Because you're going to be thirsty. When is the Day of Atonement?
The 15th, sir.
How long? How far away from you?
It's like a week, sir. It's
You
next
gonna see.
Wednesday.
Who in here has not celebrated the Day of Atonement yet? Y'all have done it. Good job. Well, listen, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to go for that first Day of Atonement, and it's going to be like, damn, I have to have some water.
Come
I have got to. When does it start?
It's sundown.
No, I mean, when does the thirst begin?
In the morning, sir, right? Yeah, in the morning.
Immediately.
God.
The first time I did this, I was playing soccer in school.
Right.
And I had just finished playing a game. The next day I had to train in the morning. And I called John Mayak. I said, Slack, he said, can I sip a little bit of water? Brother, he asked me to break the I was like, no, it's Slack, he said.
You know what? I'm all right. I hear you. Get driven by out here. Sometimes you can take off from your slavery on the Day of Atonement. Most times you cannot. You gonna go work that construction job with no water at all, not a drop of water on your tongue. You gonna work on that construction job and paint them highways and clean them houses and paint them houses, and you are not going to drink a drop of water in the heat of the South. That's what you're going to do. And in your mind, it's something that is impossible until the sun begins to go down and you see, oh my God, the sun is about to go down. Oh my God, I did it. I got the rocket though. And then you're going to have a glass of drink of water that's going to taste like, it's going to taste like, it's that stuff that they give you in the cartoons to turn you into Superman. Whatever Captain America took for you.
So like it's the spinach for
Popeye spinach. And then at that moment, you know what you'll ask yourself? If you're truly one West, you'll ask yourself, what else could I do? What are the other impossible things that I could do if I did this? Maybe I can get off of this alcoholism. That's right. Maybe I can give up smoking. Maybe I can give up the whores and the Facebook addiction. Maybe you could maybe you could stop slutting yourself for likes. You might be able to do that. You did this. That's why fasting is important. Everybody understands that. All right. Let me get to my topic. Okay. Bear with me. First precept, we'll go through a few of them. I'll try to rock it out 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All right. We're going to hold Ephesians 5 and 18. Let's just start. I'll just run down for time's sake. Okay. Start at 14 to 18 fast. Let's go.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14, sir.
Come.
Wherefore he said, awake, thou that sleepest.
Wherefore is why. Why did Christ say, and why did Paul say, awake, he that sleepeth? What was the point? What was the point of even coming into school? And once again, so many of you, because you're Christian, you don't even understand really what it means to make a sincere effort to change. It's not something that you're really familiar with. What you do is look different to the outside world and just continue to be a whore or a faggot or a homosexual or whatever thing you were in the past. You don't even really understand what it means to actually commit to a thing. You don't know. Why did he say awake? Why did he wake you up? Why did he even do it? Keep going.
And arise from the dead.
Keep going.
And Christ shall give thee light.
And Christ shall give thee what?
Light.
That's the point. Why did he say, awake, awake, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light? What was the point if you're not going to walk in it? If you're not going to get this light and now see and wake up, then why did he tell you to wake up in the first place? Keep going.
Verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly.
What does it mean to be circumspect? Circum is like a circle, right? Circum, right? Spect is like spectacle or sight. When you walk, you have to be watching, being careful. That's how you better live. You better live like that. Why? Because you were awakened out of death. So now because of that, when you get up and you're moving in your everyday life, you're not just goofy, stupid, stumbling into one incident after another.
Right.
You're not just, oh, well, you know, I just want to see what I would get on BigDaddy.com or SugarDaddy.com. I just wanted to see, you know, I don't know. Why'd you do that? Here's the dumbest thing, and I can't stand this. I cannot stand asking someone why they did it and they tell me they don't know. That is an irritation. Idiot, if you don't know why you did it, what in the hell am I supposed to know? Why'd you do it? You did it, right? Why'd you do it? I don't know why I did it. You did a thing you don't know. Can you understand how idiotic that is? Why'd you drink this water? Answer.
I was thirsty.
Right? Why did you pick up this phone? Why did you pick up the phone?
I need to use it.
Why did you walk in the door?
I wanted to come in here.
There is nothing in life that you don't know why you do.
That's
nothing.
right. Come.
You know why you do everything, except for your stupidity and your lust and your sin. Why were you talking to that boy? Why were you talking to the other man? Why were you doing that? I guess I'm just stupid, sir. I guess I'm just being dumb. That's enough. I can't stand that. Being dumb, being stupid, I'm just an airhead. Yeah, you're right. Get the hell out. We don't let airheads in here. You a oops girl, aren't you? You make a lot of oopsies, right? Or brother, why'd you do that? I just don't know. Oh, you don't know. All right, get out. Because I can't be around someone that does things I don't know. Because I might stab you in your forehead and not know why I did it. Then I'll be like, why'd you stab me in the forehead? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. You wouldn't want me around me, right? If I'm doing things that I don't even know why the hell I do them, how can you be around someone like that? Couldn't they do anything?
They could do come.
You can't be around you. Everybody understands. You're a danger to yourself and others, which means you have to leave. Keep going.
Not as fools.
Not as what? Fools. Keep going.
But as wise. Verse 16.
Everybody gets that. Go ahead.
Redeeming the time.
Redeeming the time. What does that mean? To redeem the time. Come on, up front.
Making up for your past mistakes?
No. It's on topic, but it's not what redeeming the time means. Taking the time.
Come.
Right? What you have the time here to get yourself right. Take advantage of it. But you are not taking advantage of the time you have. You're just here being a sugar daddy slut, talking to your ex-boyfriends and your ex-men and doing this and that and buying whores. Here we have the time to get ourselves right before Christ returns. You're not taking advantage of it. You're not redeeming it. Do you understand? Keep going.
Because the days are evil.
These days are evil. This is an evil time that we're in. You better take advantage of this time. You better get yourself right. Keep going.
Verse 17. Wherefore, be ye not unwise.
Because what could happen now? You could die. This is an evil day. If you're not walking circumspect and taking advantage of the time we have, you could die. This is an evil time.
Right.
Keep going.
But understanding what the will of the Most High is.
You better. Keep going.
Verse 18. And be not drunk with wine.
Be not what?
Drunk with wine.
Listen, everyone knows in the UPK we drink wine, and we know drinking wine is lawful. Right? Some of you, because we are allowed to drink wine. You believe you're allowed to be a drunk. And you're not allowed to do that in this school. You cannot be an alcoholic and then act like you're at One West and you're in the UPK. You're an embarrassment to us. Why in the hell do we have to suffer your piss pants embarrassment? That's what we all have to go through? Right. Because you're a pissy drunk. What do we have to do? We all have to be embarrassed? So I got to sit and know that the enemies of Commanding General Yohana are watching you and see what you're doing. And I got to just go through that. Why? For the privilege of being in the school with you? Who in the F are you? What in the hell do I need you around for? Why do you think that we need you here so much? That even though you're a stinking piss pants drunk, we just have to keep them around. We don't. We don't. You can't be an alcoholic and be in the Israelite school of UPK. And it's so stupid. You're not taking advantage of the time. This is the perfect place to learn how to defeat an alcohol addiction. This is the perfect place for you. You're right here in the school at this time. We could help you with that. Right. Take the time. Take advantage of it. You're sitting here. What are you going to do? Just be an alcoholic? That's it. Keep going.
Wherein is excess.
Wherein is what?
Excess.
How do you know the difference between drinking and being an alcoholic? Excess. Excess. You're a glutton. You don't know your limit. You can't stop because you're not drinking for satisfaction like someone who doesn't have this demon. You are drinking to destroy yourself. You're not having a drink. There's people that do the same exact thing with food. Everyone else, you're able to eat some food and eat it until you're full. That's not your goal. No, your goal is an heart attack. That's your plan. A stroke. Right? Your plan is to lose your kidneys, lose your liver, lose your eyesight, and get your foot cut off over food. That's your plan. You're not eating the way another person would eat. And you are not drinking the way another person would drink. You're trying to drink until you die. So many of you, because you're trying to drink until you die, you get all pissy, what's the word for it? How does a drunk get? Your fathers are probably like this if you were Judite, if they're Judite fathers. It's like a way that a drunk gets drunk and they get introspective and think about their life and the shortcomings and what they could have become. It's like a crying, pitiful drunk. It's like instead of you drinking becomes this. I could have been something, man. I didn't have my mama. I lost my grandma. My dad said, boy, I had a good jump shot, man. I had a jump shot. I could have made it. I hurt my knee. My wife, she left me, man. And you sitting there, and you know what you think? You think, boy, this is a cathartic moment. I'm really able to drink and talk and express myself and really let other people inside my pain. Nigga, nobody cares about your dead grandma. We got our own problems. What do you think? What do you think people are thinking when you're whining and talking about your life? Do you think everybody is like, ooh, go ahead, tell it. Tell me about your grandma. Ooh, tell me. Like, you think people care, but nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn about your sad, Judite man mess. And Judites, I don't know why, they're super into that. They're super into that. So much so that a bartender, part of his job is hearing your whining. Part of his job is, you want another? Go ahead and lay it on me. Thank you for listening. And you think he cares? He's sitting there wiping. Rough out there. We closing about.
Come.
Was that it? You want another one? You straight? He don't care. The bartender doesn't care. But it feels good for you because you're self-absorbed, self-indulgent. Even your whining is too much. You do everything too much. Everything. Read it again.
Verse 18, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess,
Keep going.
but be filled with the Spirit.
That's what you need. That's what you need to be filled with. Not all the alcohol in the goddamn world, all the beer in the world. You need to be filled with the character of God, which is the Spirit. His behavior, His conduct. Too bad, but I know for a fact not all of you agree with me, and that's why I'm here to kick you out of school. All right, because I hear all you clapping and all you agreeing, you're coming to one cutting. And then as soon as I get out of here, the phone will ring about your stupid, drunk self and what an embarrassment you are, and I'm going to free myself from your state. Let's go. That's I believe. Is anything else with that?
Verse 19, speaking to yourselves in songs.
That's good. All right, give me this one next, all right? Ecclesiasticus 20:9. Hold on. No, I'm sorry. 1 second. I think we can pass on that for time's sake. Not that one. Let's go to. That might be all I got for you. Hold on. Did I read Ecclesiasticus 23:6 yesterday? Shalom,
Yeah, this.
He did. I'm in the middle of class. I didn't get the chance to read it. Salaki. No sweat. But what was it? Something? Was it something? Oh. Most High in Christ. Okay, no, sorry. I'm not sure if they can. Go ahead, Salaki. But I'm in the middle of. I'm not sure if I can do it. Oh, go ahead, Salaki. Who? Oh, Salaki. Salaki, get your book there. Salaki, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 23, verse 6. Let not the greediness of the belly, nor lust of the flesh, take hold of me.
You get that? That's what you got to pray. Let not the what?
Greediness of the belly.
Greediness of the belly. Greed is a terrible thing. And so many of you are greedy over women. It's just never enough for you, is it? You just have to have every piece of tail that comes around you all the time. And you believe that this school will just be a conduit for your lust, for your belly. And it will not be. That's not this place. You cannot be a preacher in the UPK. What do I mean by saying a preacher? A preacher is someone who goes to church, performs with the intent that all of the girls watching his performance will want to have sex with him. Will want to give him money. Well, all the boys watching are new prospective child molestation victims for him. He believes that the flock in front of him are what he can devour because he is greedy. And that type of man is not going to be allowed to stay in school. Not be allowed to stay in North Carolina, not anymore. Keep going.
Nor lust of the flesh take hold of me, and give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind.
What does it mean to have an impudent mind? Disrespectful, hard-headed. You don't want to listen to any goddamn body. You better pray that the Most High doesn't give you over to that kind of mind. I pray it doesn't happen for you. Keep going.
Verse 7. Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips.
You're going to learn to watch your mouth. So many of you can't watch your mouth. You can't not say something to that girl. That's why you subvert the 1 year rule constantly. The 1 year rule in its essence is a bridle on what you say, because you're only allowed to salute them for the first 6 months. You can't say anything else to a sister in the school. You can't have that bridle over your tongue. You can't do it. You just have to come on to her. You've got to do it. Instead of just saluting her, you find a way to subvert it with Facebook or with rides home or with all of the other stupid things you do because you're horny and lonely and disgusting. That's going to be put to an end tonight in North Carolina. Let me explain to you what's going to happen now, right? N.W.O is compiling a list. I believe you have that list, correct, Captain N.W.O? So you're going to give me that list. Some of you are in this room tonight. Some of you are not in this room tonight, right? You're going to go through that list. Captain N.W.O is going to give you what you have to do to maintain your association with the Israelite School of UPK. You're going to get 2 chances to not completely obey that list, meaning you might falter on it once. All right, no problem. Commander General Yohana is nothing if not merciful. So you falter on that thing on your list once, you falter twice. After that, then it's handed over to me. And I can all but guarantee, I can guarantee you I'm just going to kick you out of school. It's a guarantee. It's my word as a man of God that you will get no more chances but those 2 that I am orders bound to give you, which is 2 chances to not keep the things that Captain N.W.O will tell you. The things will be different based on who you are, right? And what your sickness is, right? You got 2 chances to do those things. You don't do those things, I'm kicking you out of school without mercy and without fault and without regret. Does everyone understand? Okay, we'll begin to do it. Also, if anyone has any questions or needs counsel off this topic, you can see me in the back. Is there an office here? You got any regard? Say your name in the back. Shabayala. With that, pass the class over to Officer Shabayala.
I call it salute. Awapanya. Barak.
Isupk security announcements. Oh, you shout. Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk under Commander General Yohana. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted on. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi 3, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of any increase of any penny the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
September 15th.
September the 15th, we got the Day of Atonement.
Starting at
sundown. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I might you. Sorry, I'm going to turn to the sisters. Brothers, we're going to give the sisters one courteous salute. I might be Shabbat. I might be Barak. And I was Shabbat, Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.